Hello everyone. So once again I welcome you all to the course on kinematics and theory of machine. So in the previous classes we have already discussed about chemical mechanism, how it works and whether it is warfare or hierarchy. So different application of follower and the classification also we have seen based on various attributes. So acrylic based on the shapes and also cylindrical and came etc. Then we have seen what are the distinguishing features between hand cam, cylindrical cam, etc. And different types of cam classification based on follower movement like RDF, like all those things we have discussed, and based on follower constraint. Similarly, classification of followers, how they are classified according to shape and what are their advantages, disadvantages, etc. And how can we classify them in case of based on the movement, etc. we have discussed, and we have also discussed about radial follower and offset type of arrangement of cam and follower, where we have seen that if like there is some offset between the axis of movement of the follower and the cam rotational axis. So if that kind of steps if it is there, okay, it is the offset type. Otherwise, if both of them coincides, so basically they are it's a inline or radial type. So this is already we have discussed in the last class. So today we are going to discuss about the various nomenclatures of cam profile and what are the different nomenclature that we use with respect to cam flow mechanism, and if we are talking about the cam profile also, what are the different geometrical distinguishing features or nomenclatures that we have. So initially whenever we are talking about the cam profile, so this cam profile is nothing but the surface which is in actual contact with the follower, okay, and this basically is nothing but it is the actual working curve of the cam, okay. So this cam profile is nothing but the actual working curve of the cam, and actually this is nothing but the particular, actually it gives us the shape of this particular cam, okay. Here you can see this particular one, okay, that is dark one, okay. This is nothing but the cam profile, and this as you already know, the cam and follower surface, they are always in constant contact. So this is the working surface of the cam, actual working surface of the cam, as this particular shape of the cam, actually it gives rise to whatever is the movement that we get in this particular follower, okay. So this is the cam profile. So similarly, we are having some other nomenclature like the. So here in this particular figure, what we are showing is we are just showing one cam and follower arrangement along with all the different associated nomenclature, different terminologies. Okay. So what we have seen here, basically this is cam that we are showing. Okay, and we have a particular follower. So this is the follower, and what type of follower is this? So this is, as you can see, this is the roller follower. Okay, roller follower. Okay, and we already have the guide here, and this particular guide you can see, and along that particular guide, during the course of action of this particular movement of this particular cam, okay, which is rotating, as you can see, okay. So in that particular course of rotation of this particular cam, so basically this follower is moving up and down, okay. So now if you can see here, we are showing one point, and it's the trace point. So what is this trace point? So it is the reference point on the follower, okay, for the purpose of tracing the cam profile. So this particular point is nothing but it traces the cam profile, okay. So it is situated at the knife edge. If we are talking about knife edge follower, so if we think of knife edge follower, so in case of knife edge follower, it is situated at the knife edge of the knife edge follower. So if we are talking about knife edge follower, where it will be like this, okay. So in the case of knife edge follower, the trace point will be here at the edge of the knife, and in case of your roller follower that we have shown here, okay. So in that case, it is at the center of this particular roller, okay. So that is basically the trace point. Next, we have different variety of circles, which basically gives you the indication of the size and all. So we'll be discussing about the base circle. So what is base circle? So it is the smallest circle which is drawn from the cam center. So here this is the cam center, okay, center of rotation of the cam. So the smallest circle drawn from the cam circle to the cam profile. So if you see, this is the smallest radius circle that we can draw considering the cam profile. So this becomes the base circle. So now this particular side, as you can see, actually this base circle is indicates the cam, the size of the cam circle basically. Okay, or this is the base circle. It decides the size of the whole cam. So you can see this particular thing actually with respect to this, it decides the particular shape of the or size of the particular cam. Okay, so next we can discuss about the pitch curve. So what is this particular pitch curve? So it is the curve which is traced by the trace point. As you can see, this is the trace point here. So this is the curve which is traced by the trace point when we assume that the follower is rotating around the cam. So as we already know, in actual case the cam is rotating and the follower stays at this particular light position, that remains stationary, but whatever is the movement that the cam imparts to the follower gets it. But if you just consider as if the cam is right here only, okay, and the follower is rotating around the cam, so this way, this position you can see, one of the other position also. So in that case, so whatever curve this particular point is going to generate, the pitch point, so that is known as the pitch curve. Okay. Next we have the prime circle. So we can discuss about this particular prime circle. Okay. So what is this? So it is the smallest circle drawn tangent to the pitch curve, and pitch curve, it's a tangent to the pitch curve. Okay, and the center of the particular circle is, once again, this is the center of the cam itself. Okay, so now once again, for a knife edge and a flat face kind of follower, so the prime circle and the base circle, both of them are same. So there will not be any change in this particular base circle and in this particular prime circle, because we know the trace point in case of knife edge follower, it is itself is here. So in that particular case, both of them are same. But if we discuss about the roller follower, so the prime circle is larger than the base circle. So as you can already see, this one is the base circle and this one is the prime circle. So the prime circle is larger by the base of larger than the base circle by an amount which is equal to how much? It is nothing but the, so this one is the base circle, this is the prime circle. So it is larger by how much amount? What is the amount? So it is nothing but this much. Yes or no? That is the radius of the particular roller. Okay, roller radius. Okay, so this much amount has to be added. Next, we'll be discussing about the point, okay, known as the pitch point. Okay, so what is pitch point? So it is the point on the pitch curve of the cam having maximum pressure angle. So we'll see what is pressure angle, then actually on the with respect to the pitch curve, wherever actually we have the maximum pressure angle, that actually becomes the pitch point. Okay, so we'll see what is that. And similarly we can discuss about the cam angle. Okay, the whole cam angle. So what is the cam angle? So cam angle we can define like, it is the angle of rotation of the cam for a particular definite displacement of the particular follower. Okay, we already know there will be some displacement in the particular follower, and during the course of movement of the cam, actually we get whatever is the displacement in the follower. So now in the particular case, whatever the angle of rotation, cam angle is nothing but the angle of rotation of the cam, okay, for a particular displacement of the follower. Similarly, whatever pressure angle we are talking about, so we will now discuss about the angle, very important one, known as the pressure angle, generally denoted by phi. So what is this particular pressure angle? How can we do it? So this pressure angle, it is the angle between the direction of motion of the follower. As you can see, if you consider this motion, okay, this position, so this is the direction of motion of the particular follower, right? So it's the angle between the direction of motion of the follower and a normal to the pitch curve at any point. Okay, so now which one is the pitch curve? This is the pitch curve that we have here. Okay, so we traced by the pitch point. So now in that particular case, so if we draw a tangent here, so normal to the tangent is nothing but normal to the pitch curve. So this is the direction of movement of your follower. So this particular angle, this is nothing but the pressure angle, right? Okay, and why it is important, or how, what does it denote? So basically this particular pressure angle, it actually represents the stiffness of the cam profile. Okay, so how stiff is the cam profile? Because we know that if we are talking of a particular motion, okay, without having any like if you are talking about creating proper motion, so in that particular case we actually we should not go for like any sudden deviation in the velocity, acceleration, etc. So in this case basically a smooth curve or a smooth cam profile is a particular, it can pick up that particular road, okay, that means without having any kind of jar and all, so it can have the motion. So basically this pressure angle, it gives you the indication of the stiffness of the particular curve, and this angle is very important during the design of this particular cam. Okay, so this particular file, okay, so this pressure angle, it keeps on changing and it varies from maximum to minimum value during a complete evolution of this particular cam. Okay, so greater is the pressure angle, higher will be the side thrust on the wheel. Okay, so that's why you can see that we don't want that kind of higher level of high thrust. So definitely actually some particular limiting value of the pressure angle will be there, and generally the maximum value of this pressure angle is generally considered as 30 degrees, about 30 degrees. And if this particular value increases 30 degrees, okay, if it exceeds 30 degrees, so the reciprocating follower generally jams in the wheel, and basically that we don't want. Okay, that's why in practice we say we try to keep the pressure angle within this 30 degree. Some variation is there, but generally it's like that. And this particular pressure angle, it depends on the angle of ascent. We know angle of ascent is the angle during which the follower lifts up, and the lift of the follower, that means how much displacement is there on the particular follower, and similarly follower motion or offset, etc. Okay, and within the particular limit of the design, we always go for a pressure angle, it should be like as small as possible. Okay, so next we will discuss about pitch circle. So we will be discussing about pitch circle. So it is the circle having center at the center of the cam, and radius equal to the distance between the center of cam and the pitch point. So up to this particular pitch point, okay, if you draw a particular circle considering center of the cam as the center of this particular circle, then this circle becomes the pitch circle. Then we can discuss about the lift, or also known as stroke. So what is lift or stroke? Already we have discussed in this about this, but still we will be discussing. So this lift or stroke line, it is nothing but the maximum travel of the follower from its lowest position to the topmost position. So generally it's like we already know, if the particular lift of the follower, that means the follower displacement, it's because of the, let's say, the change in the, you can say one of the thing is like whenever there is constant radius, constant radius, but basically there is no movement of follower. So basically this particular lift is nothing but the this particular lift is nothing but maximum travel of the follower from its lowest position to the highest position. So lowest position is somewhere here. So in this particular case of this particular follower, so this A to B, this must be the lift of the follower during the course of movement. That means this must amount in this particular vertical direction. So suppose the travel of the this particular follower will be this one. So that is the lowest position of the follower is corresponding to this, and whenever we have this position, the highest position of this particular follower, so because during the course of its action, sometimes this particular position also it is going to assume. So then in that particular case, this will be the highest position. this must will become then by if sometimes with H, sometimes with X. Okay, so as you can very easily say, so during the course of its action, sometimes it is here, next maybe about this axis, because the axis of position is not changing, it will remain same. Sometimes it will be something like this. There will be a position when it will be at this position. Okay, in that particular case, the follower will be at lowermost position. Similarly, next it will be assuming this position, maybe sometimes it will be assuming this position. There will be a time when it will be also assuming this position, then it will be the highest clip. Okay, similarly, it will keep on rotating. Okay, and if we know about the behavior, how actually the displacement of the follower is there for a complete revolution, that is 360 degree, then knowing of this particular thing for a complete revolution is it will give you the complete information, because in the next rotation, actually next cycle, it will be the similar kind of behavior that will be obtained, because it's a cam, whatever with the design of the cam that you have already given. So cam design is not rocket science, it's a kind of physical entity only. Okay, so now we can also discuss about dual or dual period. So what is dual, or sometimes period of dual or dual period. So what is this dual? This word already we have used. So now, as you have seen about this leaf, okay, we have seen that whenever actually the variation of this particular position is there due to the shape of the whatever be the shape of the cam, so because of that basically some variation is there. Okay, so depending on what is the which particular point of the cam is in contact at a particular moment, it can be posed on that particular location of this. Okay, so the force transfer happens to the follower and the follower gets the movement. So now there is another stroke, as you know, that means there is a leaf stroke, okay, right stroke or out stroke. Okay, so there is right stroke, also known as the, or you can say right stroke or up stroke. Okay, so in that particular case, out stroke, so basically in that particular case, what basically happens, the follower, how much lowermost position it moves up, so it rises, so that's why the name is right stroke. Similarly, we have return stroke. Okay, so what happens in the return stroke, actually it falls, the follower falls from the uppermost position to the position. Okay, it comes down, that means in the right stroke or out stroke it goes up. Okay, in the return stroke, in stroke, okay, it comes down. Okay, so now there is another stroke known as the dual. Okay, dual stroke, or ultimately the time, or how much time it is taking during dual, that is known as the time of dual or dual time. Okay, so what is this? Okay, or also dual period, same thing. Okay, so it is the period during which the follower remains stationary during some kinetic rotation of this particular cam. We know that the cam is continuously rotating, but if you see, you can say suppose from here to here, actually there is a constant radius curve, that is from here to here, 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 whatever is the distance, that is constant. Okay, and it is constant. Okay, so this constant radius curve is there, and we know this particular cam surface is responsible for giving the motion to this particular follower. Okay, now as you can see, if the constant, if during the course of movement of the cam is continuously rotating, so there will be some from here to here. Okay, actually what is happening, it's a kind of constant radius curve and all. Okay, and during that course of time, even though the cam is rotating, but still the follower will remain at the same position, whatever is the previous position. You consider as if, with respect to this particular figure, as if this is point A, okay, and this is suppose point B. Okay, now we consider as if it is rotating in the clockwise direction. So now what will happen? So during this course of rotation, clockwise rotation, actually from B point will be coming to this particular location of previous A point. Okay, so B to B there. So during that course, actually cam is rotating. Suppose cam will suppose camel is in this position, then camel is in this position and all. Okay, so this much distance, okay, it will change. Okay, so what will happen during that particular course of time? So even though that cam was rotating actually, what it will encounter this particular surface which is having constant radius. So throughout this particular course actually this point of the or the location of this particular follower will remain same. So the period for which or the stroke during which actually this kind of thing is happening, that means the follower remains stationary during some finite rotation of the cam. So that particular stroke is known as the dual stroke. Okay, and the time it takes to complete the dual stroke is nothing but the period of dual. So as you can see, this almost discussion of this cam and all. Okay, cam and follower. So cam movement we can discuss with respect to some angle. Okay, or also that we can discuss with respect to time, because you see if we are talking of having the rotation, so the cam we can discuss, suppose it has rotated by 30 degree or 60 degree or something like that. And also as we know about the rotation speed, how it is rotating, we can also discuss it with respect to time, suppose for 5 seconds, for 10 seconds or so, because we usually if whatever with the this angle, okay, that angle, suppose 60 degree is the angle of rise. So to complete that 60 degree movement, so it is going to definitely take a particular time. Similarly, suppose 50 degree, suppose is the return angle or return stroke angle. So for traversing that particular 60 degree, 60 angle, so once again the cam is going to take some certain time. So all the strokes we can discuss with respect to time also. Okay, so that we can consider with respect to suppose the rise time, okay, time of rise, and we can discuss just the period of dual, or we can discuss with respect to the period of, we can say, your return. Okay, so this is so similarly we can have some angles like angle of ascent. This ascent means upward, okay, going up. Okay, we can have angle of dual. This is what we're talking about the angles. Okay, and we can have angle of descent. Descent means going down, that is whenever the follower is coming down. Okay, ascent is going up. Okay, similarly we can have an angle of action. Okay, so this thing we can discuss. Now, angle of ascent. What is angle of ascent? It is the angle of rotation of the cam from the position when the follower begins to rise till it reaches the highest position. Okay, it starts to rise and it reaches the highest position. So for that particular thing to happen, actually it is going to take some it is going to the cam will be having angular displacement. So okay, so that it will rotate to some angle. So that particular angle is basically known as the ascent angle or angle of ascent, or also known as rise angle. Okay, angle of ascent, angle of rise, or sometimes also known as the outstroke angle. So all are same. Angle of ascent, angle of rise, or outstroke angle, those are same thing. Or sometimes also called as the stroke as the high stroke or outstroke or ascent stroke. Everything is having the same meaning when the actually the follower is moving up, okay, from the lower position. Similarly, what is the like drill? Okay, so drill just like we have discussed. So actually whenever the cam will rotate to a particular finite angle, but in that particular case whatever was the previous location of the follower, it will remain there. That means there is no displacement of the displacement of follower. Okay, so but there is some finite displacement of the cam, so that is known as the dual period. The time will be dual period and the angle will be dual angle or angle of dual. Similarly, now after that there is sometimes what happens, the cam will rotate and the follower comes down. Okay, and that angle through which particular phenomenon happens, the cam is rotating and the follower is coming down, so that is known as the return stroke. Angle is the return stroke angle. Okay, so position. And similarly, actually what happens in this particular position, the follower falls from the highest position to its lowest position. Okay, and the total angle covered by the cam during its rotation between the beginning of the rise and the end of the return stroke actually is known as the angle of action. Angle of action. Okay, so this is basically about the different terminologies involved with cam and follower movement. Okay, so next, as we have already discussed that the stiffness of the cam profile is very important, and during the course of movement basically we are saying that movement of the follower movement, we don't want that there will be some arbitrary movement on that particular follower or jerk, etc. Okay, and because of that what may happen if the is there, so all those bearing, etc., or whatever is there, so there will be some thrust force that is reacting, so it is once again going to hamper all those things. So we actually want that the action of follower, it should be kind of smooth. Okay, so now what may happen sometimes? So sometimes it may happen that the fine circle of a cam, it is proportional to provide a satisfactory pressure angle. Okay, but even though we are doing that, the follower, it still may not complete the proper desired motion. So what is the desired thing that we want? We want that basically the follower should properly move around the particular, the motion should be there. Okay, or you can say the cam should be able to satisfactorily move around the follower. Okay, the property. So now this particular problem, it may happen if the curvature of the pitch curve is too sharp. Okay, so now if you can see from this particular figure, so figure A, B and C, figure 3 is showing. So from the figure A, first one it will show. Okay, so here actually we are showing the pitch curve of a particular cam. So the lower part is not shown, okay, but only the pitch curve portion is shown. And in the second figure we are showing if these circles are nothing but we are representing the roller, okay, roller follower. So we are showing as if the roller follower is generating this particular curve. That means it is passing through like that. Okay, so as we have already seen the kinematic inversion, that means we consider as if the cam is stationary and follower is rotating around it. So we have to just consider it like that. Okay, now if that is the smaller size roller and all, it is there is no problem, it is generating it. Now in the third figure we consider a roller, okay, which is of bigger size, a larger roller, it is trying to generate the curve. Now from there we can very easily see whenever we are representing this particular portion, okay, we can observe that the cam curve, it loops over itself, okay, whenever it is trying to realize the profile of the pitch curve. Okay, so but it is impossible to produce such a cam profile. Okay, so because of that what will happen, the result is that the cam will be undercut and become a pointed cam. Okay, so now because of that what will happen, now when the roller follower will be made to move over this cam, it will not going to produce the desired motion. So that's a problem. Okay, so now what we can see, we can observe that the cam will be pointed if the radius of the roller is equal to the radius of the curvature. Okay, so radius of the curvature of the pitch curve. So this is the radius. We can consider this one is the from here to here. This is the radius of the curvature. This can be the center of the earth. Okay, so this one is the radius of curvature of the pitch curve. Okay, now if that is same as that of this particular, suppose if for this particular roller, okay, if suppose R, this R is same, okay, then what will happen? So in that particular case this kind of probability. Okay, so the pointed kind of cam. So now, so as to have a minimum radius of curvature of the cam profile, the radius of curvature of the cam circle, it must always be greater than that of the radius of the particular roller. Okay, otherwise this kind of problem of a very pointed kind of cam will be there. So this is nothing but the undercutting problem. Okay, so with this for today we stop here, so we will meet in the next lecture.